What's up, guys? Amplified Man. It is early Saturday morning. Clearly, we are not in our normal atmosphere or setting, but we just caught the Super Showdown in its entirety, and we got to hit the road because we got a lot to do this Saturday, and I just spent the last 4+ hours watching WWE Super Showdown, and I'm glad I did because this brought me back to like when I was a kid, getting up early to watch superstars of wrestling. Now, obviously, it wasn't that early. 5 a.m. I was getting up at 4:30 a.m. And mind you, that's after staying up late to watch my Yankees get their asses kicked by the Boston Red Sox last night. So not much sleep, man. We went into that ass kicking into Super Showdown. But again, I'm glad that I got up early to catch that because I felt it was a kick-ass show. But I don't know. We're going to go over match by match and see what was good, bad, and ugly. That's what we do on this review show. We put everything in its category. And at the end of these tallies, we're going to see if it was good, bad, or ugly. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Again, we're not in our normal settings, so I apologize for any audio issues or any focus issues, any shit like that. But I at least wanted to get a video out to you guys, so let's get right into it. First of all, we got a good up in the good tally because, in the good column I should say, because of Pyro. Thank you, Pyro. That's all you need, Vince, to get everyone enthusiastic at the beginning of your show. Make them feel like they're watching something cool. Make them actually believe that they're going to catch a good event. Pyro, it does wonders. That Pyro gets everybody excited and knowing that they're at something special. They're going to view something special. They're at a special event. Pyro, so thank you. That is in the good column. Pyro alone. But then we go into the first match. Now this, I would have picked a different first match. The first match you always want the first match to set a good vibe, set a good pace, make it be intriguing, enthusiastic, and wildly entertaining. I can't say that the Bar in the New Day was all of that, but it was obviously a good match. I mean, I think WWE played it safe here. Go with the safe bet, which is the New Day and the Bar, because you know they're going to put on a good match. So that's what they did. They went with the safe bet, and it was a good match. I just don't know if it really set the pace for the night. But I'll tell you this, the ending puts this motherfucker into the good column. Because for a while I was on the fence during that whole match. They weren't doing anything bad to put it in the bad. It was far from ugly, but I didn't have enough to put it into the good column. But then I saw that ending, guys, and this was a backstabber into basically a coup de grace. This was a backstabber into a double stomp. And it was badass. It was the first time that I've seen it. So if they used that before, guys, I apologize. I must have been blinking every time they used this move. Because that was badass. Again, that was Big E was on the outside. It was Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Those were the two New Day members that were representing their team, taking on the Bar. And it was New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods that actually got the W over the Bar and kept their tag championships. But it's how they did it that put this match into the good column. Again, that was a fucking backstabber into basically a coup de grace. Badass, man. So, all in all, even though it wasn't the match I would go with, the ending, wildly fucking entertaining. So I'll take that, man. So two good so far. You had the Pyro. Pyro was back for one night only, right? Just like Triple H and Undertaker was being billed as the last time ever, that might be the same for Pyro. Last time ever. So we got to get the good out of it. So that was some badass Pyro, and then we went into a badass ending in the first match. Backstabber into the double stomp. Coup de grace. Now, the second match, man, this match really picked up the event for me. This was Becky Lynch defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Charlotte. And let me tell you this much. This match was the best women's match that I have seen in a long time on the main roster. I know, guys, you're about to type, oh, BC, the NXT, and this and that, and Independence, and the Mae Young Classic. But on the main roster, this is the best women's match I've seen in a long time, especially that didn't have a name called Sasha Banks in it. Charlotte and Becky Lynch, so much good chemistry between the two. They just know each other's moves before the other's about to even fucking think it. They complement each other great in the ring. That goes hand in hand with the chemistry, obviously. The botches here, for you botch counters out there that watch women's wrestling and like to count the botches, very limited in this match, if any, because that's how on their game they were. It was so good to see. There was one moment in this match where Becky Lynch took the arm of Charlotte. Becky was on the outside, Charlotte inside the ring. Becky took Charlotte's arm, dragged her to the outside, and Charlotte did like this sunset flip to the outside. Thought for a second she was going to land on her neck. Yeah, just a badass match, guys. It was just physical. Obviously, like I said, it was great chemistry. Perfect ending to this match. This was the figure 8 leg lock, right? The version of the figure 4, but amping it up a little more of what her father once did. The figure 8 leg lock, and before this move was applied, Becky Lynch had enough. She went to the outside. She grabbed her championship. She went to walk away, but Charlotte grabbed her and threw her back in the ring. With Becky came that title. So the title was still in the ring. So Becky Lynch was too far to grab the ropes once the figure 8 leg lock was applied, but she was able to grab that championship. She grabbed it, and we all knew what was happening from there. She started whacking Charlotte with that championship strap. Vicious shots. Obviously, that's going to draw the disqualification. Becky Lynch keeps the title. Charlotte wins the match. Perfect ending, because this sets up another match between these two. Now, we thought it was going to be Evolution, but they actually already announced this match for SmackDown this Tuesday. But I highly anticipate that this is going to lead to another match for Evolution. There is going to be another schmaz I'm seeing Tuesday, because I don't think that type of great ending to prolong this feud wouldn't just be for SmackDown, I don't believe. We'll all find out, but I think SmackDown is going to be another schmazzy ending to lead to Evolution between these two. Either way, I didn't feel like it was the right decision to be the end of the feud at Super Showdown, so I thought that was the right way to go about it. Becky Lynch keeps her championship, Charlotte wins the match via disqualification, and that could prolong this feud, because this is a fun feud. Not only storyline-wise, but when they get in the ring, it's badass. So obviously that's going into the good column. That's 3 goods in a row. The pyro, the ending to the New Day in the bar, and Charlotte and Becky Lynch. We're off to a fucking roaring start at this point. Then we go into, what is this? The third match. This is going to be John Cena and Bobby Lashley taking on Kevin Owens and Elias. Just like New Day in the bar, I was indifferent for a while here on where to put this. It was far from ugly, not enough to put it into the bad. It wasn't bad, but I didn't have enough to put this into the good column. But then just thinking about John Cena coming back. Now, even though I'm a huge advocate that John Cena should have turned heel for the business, because he could have set up so many awesome storylines that we could have been intrigued with for a year or two at least. But in the process, he could have elevated a lot of young stars, a lot of good faces that could have been made. John Cena did hold them down, guys, whether you like to believe that or not. And again, I don't even hate John Cena. I'm not a fan, but I don't hate the guy. But I can admit, watching this product for over 30 years, John Cena definitely held talent down. And I'm not just talking about getting the shovel out and burying them and beating them nonstop, but not turning heel when the fans knew that's what should happen, the company knew that's what should happen, but John Cena refused because he wanted to be the face of faces. And that's awesome for the little kids and the Make-A-Wish and all that, guys. Trust me. But if you just created new stars, the Make-A-Wish would be fine with a lot more stars than just one. I don't know. So a lot of us did hold a lot of that grudge for John Cena, but then you look at the fact that he did do so much for this business. He never took a day off if he didn't have to. He did not want to go to Hollywood. He didn't want to make movies. Vince literally had to kick him out the door. He lived and breathed this business, and you got to have respect for that. So just seeing Cena come back, you know, I said in the last year and a half, I kind of did take him for granted, and it's nice to see him once in a while. And this is that once in a while. And they kept it short. This match had no intrigue at all. It had no build. Nobody cared about Kevin Owens and Elias taking on Bobby Lashley or the feud that they had. John Cena wasn't even in existence this whole month that they were doing their little schmaz feud. So this was a nothing match. 10 minutes is all it needed. 10 minutes is all it got. So that mixed in with John Cena returning, and then John Cena's little thanks for welcoming me back speech at the end of the match. It was a warm, fuzzy moment. I'll put it into the good column to be generous. But nothing epic here. But it was a John Cena return. We don't see him anymore. Warm, fuzzy speech at the ending. 10 minutes is all it needed. 10 minutes is all it got. All that wrapped into one little fucking present with a bow on top. I'll put it into the good section. So that's 4 good in a row, guys. 3 matches in a row. And again, the Pyro gets the first and big fucking good. So 4 goods. We go into the 4th match, and this was Asuka and Naomi taking on the Iconics. I don't know about the match placement here, because just like the match before it, with John Cena and Bobby Lashley taking on Elias and Kevin Owens, it was a bullshit match to me. So was this match. This match was clearly just to show Australia their hometown gals in Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. So I understand business-wise why it was done. I don't like the fact that you're throwing talents like Asuka and Naomi into a throwaway match. Them being in a throwaway match doesn't sit well with me, A. B, them losing a throwaway match to Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. I don't care if it's in their homeland of Australia, in the Atlantic Ocean, in the McDonald's Playhouse, in the bar room down the street. I don't care where they're fighting. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce realistically are not going to beat Asuka and Naomi. So them doing it, I understand again why it was done, but it should not have been those talents. It should not have been Asuka and Billie Kay. I'm sorry, asking. It's early, guys. I went to bed late. I got up early on a fucking hour and a half sleep, so I apologize. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce should not be beating talents like Asuka and Naomi. Peyton Royce isn't in that category yet, nor is Billie Kay. Hopefully one day they get to that level. BC's botch already. But that didn't sit well with me. That the fact that they're in a throwaway match, the fact that they're losing so simplistically. I think this was 6 minutes, right, guys? A 6-minute match with Naomi and Asuka. I guess we should be thrilled that Naomi was even on the card, that Asuka was even on the card. But they just lost a 6-minute match. Guys, I blinked. I can't even tell you the ending of this match. I literally turned for a second. I was checking up on something. I turned back around. Literally. Blink of an eye. This match was over in 6 minutes. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce have their hands held high. BC, it was Australia. I understand, guys. I'm not fucking stunad here. I understand why it was done. It should not have been Billie Kay and Asuka. And on top of that, Asuka at the beginning of this match is dancing to Naomi's theme music. Asuka is dancing with Naomi. This is what I don't like about taking 2 individual talents and throwing them into a tag team. It never works. I remember the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. And the Ultimate Warrior looked like an idiot when he was trying to do Hulk Hogan's, ear to the crowd and all of his poses. Ultimate Warrior looked like a fucking numbskull, an idiot of epic proportions, a clown, a joke. Sasha Banks, when she's out there with Bayley, looks like a joke, a clown. Trying to do the Bayley buddies, dancing with Bayley, nonstop hugging. It doesn't fit the boss character. Just like the Ultimate Warrior's character did not fit with Hulk Hogan, Asuka does not fit with Naomi. It's just stupid. Asuka doesn't belong dancing. Even Corey Graves said, I liked Asuka a lot better when she was kicking people really hard rather than dancing. I agree with Graves. Very rare that happens, but I agree. All of that mixed into one. This is a bad, guys. I'm sorry. This is a sorry, not sorry. It's a bad. I understand why Peyton Royce and Billie Kay's hands were raised. Asuka and Naomi should have never been in that predicament, in that situation, losing in 6 minutes. Asuka's out there dancing with Naomi. Asuka should never be with Naomi. I could go on and fucking on. That is a bad. So we are 4 matches into this event. With the pyro included, we have 4 goods and 1 bad. Again, the pyro was a good, so the first 3 matches were all good. The 4th match was a bad. So that's 4 good, one bad. We go into the fifth match of the night. This was AJ Styles defending his championship against Samoa Joe. This was a great 25-minute match after an 18-hour flight from Seattle to get to Australia, to get to Melbourne. 18 plus hours. And they went out there and put on a 25-minute match, guys. Styles was busted open. It took 12 minutes for me to remember that this was no disqualification, because this was a great match the first 12 minutes before any chairs or tables got brought into this ring. But after the 12 or 13 minutes, chairs did get brought into the ring. Tables were brought in. Tables were getting smashed. This was great storytelling and great wrestling coming together. And if you guys caught my preview video for Super Showdown, I told you that something in me felt that this AJ Styles Samoa Joe match was going to be their best ever, and it was. 25 minutes, and they went out there and delivered a classic. And again, Styles is busted open. This match ended with, well, first of all, there was a point in this match where Styles sent Samoa Joe through the table, and he put his knee basically through the table. And Samoa Joe was like, I heard it pop, I heard it pop. So Samoa Joe is really selling this injury. And it ended with, was it the calf crusher? Or some form of it that really sent Samoa Joe's fucking leg back. And Samoa Joe just couldn't handle it. And Samoa Joe tapped out to AJ Styles. There's a lot of crying and bitching going online that Samoa Joe should have kept the championship. Bullshit. Bullshit. This is one of the best title reigns we have seen in fucking that in 15 years at least. AJ Styles, we always talk about hot potato and how we hate it. We always talk about everyone getting the championship and nobody having long title reigns. AJ Styles has a long title reign. It is going to be epic when he finally loses it. And everyone's crying and bitching now when he doesn't lose it. Is it getting boring for you? Is it getting stale? The fuck? Do you want hot potato? Do you want everyone to fucking have it? It's those type of fans that are ruining this business. I'm telling you right now. This is awesome. This is a heavyweight champion. Of course Samoa Joe is deserving of it. There's two handful guys right now that I can think of off the top of my head that are deserving. It doesn't mean you give it to them. Samoa Joe hopefully will have his opportunities and his chances in his title reigns down the line. But this is not the fucking time at Super Showdown. Which is really just a big house show if you think about it. And Samoa Joe is going to beat this long title reign of AJ Styles at a fucking huge house show? Come on! Think! Use your fucking heads! That's why I try to stay off the fucking internet as much as I can, man. I go on my Twitter, my Instagram. I give my people, my fans, my subscribers, my amplified unit some fucking insight on my day. Or inside my thoughts, and then I'm out. I cannot spend too much time on the internet, man, because then I see stupid shit like that. Samoa Joe didn't win. This is fucking horrible. This whole event is stupid. Samoa Joe needed the title at a house show. Shut up! Fuck, shut up! Start listening to smart motherfuckers for a change. Because this match was awesome. It was fucking great. It was an instant classic. Instant candidate for match of the year, no doubt. And on top of that, I love the ending. Samoa Joe tapping out. Really, really thrilling to fucking have a champion like AJ Styles continue that title reign. And now this is going to show a Samoa Joe that is desperate. He already tapped out. He's got nothing to lose from here. This could only make Samoa Joe even better. If they play it right, if they book it correctly, this is going to be just fucking fine, man. Samoa Joe can use this as fuel. Because if he was going to lose anyway, you might as well really pump up the champ. And, a little bit of bias. I'm an AJ Styles fan, obviously. I honestly feel he's the greatest wrestler in the world right now. You can get your Okadas, you can get your Omegas, you can get this guy and the other guy. For me, it's AJ Styles. I think Daniel Bryan has the chance to be, but not if he's putting on matches like that. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But that's it, guys. That's obviously a good. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, that goes into the good column, obviously. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good, 1 bad. And again, one of those goods, I gotta keep reminding you, because if you guys are going by matches, you're like, wait, BC, you have an extra good. The Pyro! Fucking Pyro! So we got 5 good, right? I'm already forgetting. 5 good, 1 bad after half the card, guys. 5 matches left. So this is already looking like a really good fucking huge house show special event. We go into the 6-woman tag match for Raw. This is Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins taking on the Riot Squad. This was a subpar match. The only highlight of this was how good Ronda Rousey is getting. Ronda Rousey is stealing the show every time she steps in there. Realistic, believable, badass, doing her moves fucking with confidence. Loving Ronda Rousey's performances. And Ronda Rousey instantly put this into the good column. At the end of this match, the finish was fucking badass. Ronda Rousey grabs Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan's arms in the middle of the ring, snaps them both back in a double armbar. I'm going to say that again. A double armbar tap out ended this match. Fucking A! That is awesome! Wow, man, that brought me to the edge of my seat. It's fucking 5, 6 a.m., whatever the fuck it is, 7 a.m. probably by that time. Whatever the fuck it was, man. I was on the edge of my seat like, did I just witness a double armbar tap out? That was cool, man. They teased a little bit of Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey at the beginning of this match. They were fighting about who, or arguing about who's going to start the match. And you could tell they were getting perturbed with each other. We didn't see any of that last throughout the match or culminate at the end of the match. So that was only at the beginning. But that tells me that this Monday on Raw, that's when you're going to see it finally happen. Nobody wants to see it. But this is what it looks like they're going with. Because if you watch the beginning of that match, guys, there was a little tension there. There was a little arguing. This, to me, seems like it's going to start that off. So, I see this going into Monday Night Raw with the Bella Twins. I think that Ronda Rousey is gloating too much and thinking she won that match all herself. And the Bella Twins are now kind of pissed off. Like, hey, what about us? Fucking A, man. If that actually ends up happening, we're all going to be collectively, we're all going to put our heads to a fucking cement wall. The nearest cement wall we can fucking find. If you can't find a cement wall, just throw yourself in the middle of the fucking road. But that's good, because of Ronda Rousey's double armbar tap-out submission. Badass, man. That is 6 goods, guys, and 1 bad. We are 6 matches into this, and that is 6 goods and 1 bad. One of those goods, what is it for, guys? The Pyro. So, 6 and 1, we're going into the 7th match. This was a cruiserweight match. Can't say I watch a lot of these things, but Buddy Murphy, or as I call him, Kurt Hawkins. Is it Kurt Hawkins 2.0, or is Buddy Murphy Kurt Hawkins 2.0? Either which way, Buddy Murphy is not on a losing streak. Buddy Murphy is picking up championships because he defeated Cedric Alexander last night for the Cruiserweight Championship, and this was a good match, man. It wasn't just flips and dives, which I can't stand, just matches with flips and dives. This had some storytelling in it. This had some finesse, man, and you had the emotion in this match. And again, playing to the fact that Buddy Murphy was the hometown hero, the homeland hero, that added that emotion to it. The crowd was on their feet when Buddy Murphy picked up this championship. It was a feel-good moment. Again, it was a good match. It had the emotion. It had story to it. And it had the flips and dives. So, yeah, obviously there was a lot of good wrestling, man. That obviously goes into the good. There's no way that's going into the ugly, and there's no way it can go into the bad. It was good all the way around. So nothing but praise for the Cruiserweight match last night. So that is 7 good, guys, and 1 bad. No ugly so far. 7 good, 1 bad, and we're going into our 8th match. This is going to be the Shield versus, what do they call themselves? The Dogs of War, I'll say. This is Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. Decent match. Nothing epic, but not bad. There was a cool spot where Roman Superman punched Dean Ambrose by accident. And like a minute or 2 later, when Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns were in the ring, Drew McIntyre was getting up on the apron on one side. Dolph Ziggler was getting up on the apron on the other side. Braun Strowman was getting up on the apron on the 3rd side, and Dean Ambrose was getting up on the 4th side apron. And Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are looking at everybody, especially Dean, like, whose side are you on, Dean? Because Roman just Superman punched Dean Ambrose. So Dean Ambrose looks at Dolph, Drew, and Braun and gives them the nod. They all get in the ring, but fucking, well, I'm getting all the names mixed up here. Fucking Dean Ambrose ends up colliding with Braun, so he is still Team Shield. We kind of knew that, but it was a cool, fun moment for a minute there. Dean Ambrose really playing it up, you know, and he did get a whacking from Roman Reigns, man. So that was a cool spot. The other big spot here came at the end of this match. Braun Strowman was on the outside about to take Dean Ambrose through the barricade, but before he reached Ambrose, Roman came out of nowhere and put Braun through the barricade. Eventually, this would leak back into the ring, and Dean Ambrose was able to get dirty deeds over Dolph Ziggler. So it's clear Dolph Ziggler is the bitch boy out of this whole feud, and the bitch boy out of the Dogs of War, or whatever they call themselves. But Dolph carries his own, man. It's any true wrestling fan knows Dolph Ziggler is a damn good wrestler, and he is a damn big part of this whole 6-person tag match that they had last night. Dolph Ziggler helped make that what it was, and that was into the good column, right? It wasn't an epic match, but it sure as hell isn't going into the bad column. So, given what they put their bodies through after 18 hours in the air, flying over to Melbourne and putting on that, 20-ish at least minute match, beating the shit out of each other, very physical, that's going into the good column, there's no doubt. I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback this and start nitpicking every little fucking thing, man. This, when you put the whole performance together out of these 6 men, even though I didn't want to see this match up front, I don't want to see this match ever again, they went out there and put on a good performance. And again, the Shield ends up victorious. That's going to be 8 good, am I right, guys? 8 good and 1 bad going into the 9th match. Right? That is good with the pyro, right? Can I take one more second here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, so I am right, guys. 8 good. With the pyro, it's 8 good and 1 bad. So there's no way this is not going to be a good, unless, even with 2 uglies here, which count for 2 bads, by the way. If you're new to the good, the bad, and the ugly and how we do this, an ugly counts for 2 bads. But even if the next 2 matches get 2 uglies, that's 4 bads mixed in with the first bad. It's only 5. So this house show special event, I still call it pay-per-view, special event, house show, whatever you want to call it. This is dynamite so far, man. And we're going into the 9th match. Now this, fuck, we were doing so good, guys. We got our first ugly. And you guys know what the fuck I'm going to say here. This is Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. A match I was actually looking forward to because this feud and this story has been one of my favorite for months now, since before SummerSlam. You could really say for the past 8 years. They go in there, guys, and you talk about a blink of an eye for the Iconics winning. This was like a minute. I literally blinked, and I missed this whole finish. I missed the whole match, really. Even Michael Cole didn't know what the fuck happened. Michael Cole said, The Miz picks up a quick victory. And then he's like, oh no, he didn't. Daniel Bryan picked up the... Guys, nobody knew who fucking won. Daniel Bryan looked shocked as fuck. Miz obviously looked shocked as fuck. The referee looked like he just screwed somebody. None of this, the crowd is confused. Amplified Man's confused. I couldn't have been the only one watching at home confused. You guys, I know a lot of you guys must have been. It almost looked like this was a botch, but given the amount of time that Taker and Hunter had, I don't think this was a botch. I think that's what was supposed to happen, because then right after that match, they went into a bunch of promos and a bunch of marketing and talking about Evolution. So I think all of those promos and marketing mixed with giving Taker and Hunter more time, I think they took away Miz and Daniel Bryan's time. I really do. I think that was supposed to go longer. Either way, that's fucking ugly. Whether that was planned or that was botched, that was fucking ugly. A match that you built up that big. It's their 3rd match. This is Daniel Bryan's big payoff win. And it's a roll-up? A fucking roll-up that nobody even watched because we did something I guess you're not supposed to do in life. We blinked! Sorry for blinking! That was shit. That was a shit show. I will gladly accept taking 2, 3, 5 minutes away from Taker and Hunter and giving it to Daniel Bryan and Miz. I'm okay with you taking 5 minutes from Hunter and fucking Undertaker. As it is, they have like, what, a half an hour at least? That was ugly, guys. And again, that counts for 2 fucking bads, really, when we finally tally this. So we go to, I'm not even going to spend any more time on that. It's way too early on a Saturday morning. We're all fucking tired as it is, and we all got a lot of shit to do, I know. So I'll move on to the main event. But before I do, let me just say that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 good, 1 bad, and 1 ugly. Going into the main event, Undertaker versus Triple H. Guys, this match had a little bit of everything. Yes, it was slow paced for a lot of it, but for good reason. If you add up both of their ages, they're about at 100 years old at least, right? Maybe even over 100 years old. Maybe not. Maybe that's going a little too far. But you're talking about 100 years between the two. So it's going to be slow at times, especially when you're saying, hey, we're going to give you about a half an hour, maybe even more. So a lot of crawling, a lot of dead spots, a lot of slow pace. But when you look about what they were doing, look at what they're doing in this match. I mean, you had chair shots that were very vicious, man. Sledgehammer shots. Chairs going around people's necks and people stomping into the chair. Tables were breaking. HBK's getting involved. Kane's getting involved. A little bit of everything. So beggars can't be choosers. You knew you needed some schmozzery with these two. Obviously past their prime. You needed the Shawn Michaels and the Kane interference. You needed the sledgehammers and the chairs. Because at the beginning of this match, guys, JoJo announced that this is, as of now, a no disqualification match. It was not announced that beforehand because they didn't want to step on the toes of Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. So they announced no disqualification right before that match started. And I think H and Taker knew that they needed more than just them wrestling for a half an hour. But I thought in the very end, man, I will say this was a good performance. I'm not going to say good wrestling match, but this was highly entertaining for me. Everything, there was a lot. It was obviously overbooked, but you guys know by watching the Amplified, man, if you've ever seen my Amplified bookings, I love overbooking shit. So this was right up my alley. But it's really the ending that really cements this into the good column. The ending, I'm not going to say Triple H beating The Undertaker because that is what happened. But Shawn Michaels did a bunch of super kicks. Super kicks. Sweet chin music, right? Super kicks, they are. But sweet chin music when Shawn Michaels is performing them. Sweet chin music a couple of times to The Undertaker. To the point where finally Undertaker just fucking went right into a pedigree and that was it. Triple H defeats The Undertaker. We kind of knew that was going to happen. Triple H kind of has this thing where he likes to avenge any losses that he had or be the bigger guy. That's what he did against Sting. He does it against Shawn. He did it against Shawn Michaels. He did it here against The Undertaker because The Undertaker had his number up until tonight. This morning. So I'm not saying that's necessarily epic. I always hate to see The Undertaker lose. I don't feel he should be losing any of these matches. But what was cool was at the end, they all shook hands. Shawn Michaels, Kane, Undertaker, H. They all raised their hands and all of this pyro starts shooting off. All these fireworks. And you think that's the ending. Unless you're the Amplified, man, and unless you watch this channel. Because I told you guys already, if you watch this channel, I spoiled it. Crown Jewel, Shawn Michaels is going to return. It's going to be a tag match. Kane and The Undertaker versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels. It's all but confirmed. All they got to do now is announce it. So I knew this pay-per-view was not going off with all them holding each other's hands in the air. But they played it fucking perfectly with all the pyro. So the casual fans and the fans that aren't smart fans, and they're just catching the show as it comes, they thought that was the ending. And then all of a sudden, Undertaker just wouldn't let Triple H's hand go. And H is like, what the fuck? And Shawn Michaels, who's looking at Kane, looks back at H like, what's going on? And Undertaker looks at Kane. Kane looks at Taker. They give the nod. Shawn Michaels looks at Triple H. Triple H is looking at Shawn Michaels like, oh, fuck. We're fucked. We got duped. And boom, before you know it, double choke slam or double fucking tombstone. It was double some shit. Maybe it was both. I don't know. But Undertaker and Kane annihilate Triple H and Shawn Michaels. And that is how Super Showdown goes off the air. The Brothers of Destruction standing tall. This sets up the tag match for Crown Jewel. So obviously that is going into the good column, man. The performance alone by all four of these superstars for a nostalgia act, they all pulled it off. And the ending was super fun, man. It was a little bit of shock and turn twist at the end. I always am looking for that in pro wrestling, man. Give us a little bit of shock and awe. Even if we know it's coming, right? Even if we know it's coming, give it to us. It's still shocking, man. It's still at least fun. Even if you're not shocked, it's fun, man. You honestly thought that shit was going off the air, and Taker's like, fuck that shit. So that is 9 good, 1 bad, and 1 ugly, guys. This huge house show, special event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, this was good when it was all said and done, guys. This ends up being a good special event, and that's what I thought it was. Again, we never know until we tally everything. I do this live here with you guys. I don't tally this beforehand and then make the video. I never know how I'm going to really judge or score this until I actually talk about it with you guys. But going into this video, or going into these videos, I always have a general feeling of how I'm feeling, what I thought about it. And I thought this was good, man. Again, there was a couple of mulligans in this thing. The Iconics, the Daniel Bryan match, John Cena and Lashley, Kevin Owens and Elias. I just thought that was kind of a bullshitty match. So there was some, the lower points. But overall, this was a fun Saturday morning. I'll get up for the shit like this, man. This is old school wrestling for me, man. Just being there on a Saturday morning, watching a fun card. The whole card, the last match was overbooked, but the whole card wasn't overbooked. It was just a good morning of wrestling. 4 fucking hours of good wrestling, for the most part. Again, there was those low points. So yeah, I'll shut up about it, guys, because I know you guys like me have a big Saturday probably in store. You got a lot to do. We set up for Crown Jewel. 2 big matches already. Well, one isn't named yet, but we expect it to be. And that is the Brothers of Destruction versus D-Generation X, or 2/4. We'd love to see fucking Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, X-Pac. Man, I miss China, the old DX. But anyway, it's Triple H and Shawn Michaels of DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. We expect that to be at Crown Jewel, and they already announced Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, because that Daniel Bryan match was for the #1 contendership, which is even more mind-boggling that it ended in like a fucking minute. But yeah, they're gonna waste a dream match at fucking Crown Jewel. That boggles my fucking mind. I should give that an ugly just for fucking announcing that. But that should be a WrestleMania match. But who knows? Maybe it's a schmaz where The Miz interferes in this, or Samoa Joe interferes in it as well. And we never really get a decisive winner between Styles and Daniel Bryan. And maybe they prolong that, at least into the Royal Rumble or past. But I feel it should be a WrestleMania dream match. That's it. Shut the fuck up, guys. That was good. Let me know what you guys think about it. Jot it down below. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it at least, man. Even if you didn't enjoy it, that sucks, because you got up really early, or you stayed up really late, or maybe it was perfect time for you, but you went through 4 hours and you just hated it. Sucks to be you. For us, it was early here on a Saturday morning, so we got some good early morning Saturday wrestling, man. Old school style. Kick this weekend's ass, guys. I will catch you guys, maybe I'll give an impromptu video Monday, but definitely on Tuesday I'll catch you guys for Monday Night Raw's review and reaction show. Much love and respect. For now, I'm fucking out. Check you later.